What's going on, everyone? So it's Ryan Small here, founder of Epic Analysis, or you can find me on IG at Winning with Ryan. So real quick, I'm just going to go over a few pairs for this week. I see some setups are setting up pretty nicely. Last week, pretty much all my setup played up to the T. So this week, moving forward, I was looking for slight retracements until we finally get that move back into the overall trend. So looking at the overall dollar index, um, I've been watching this pair for overall like about a month now, and I was catching it when it was down at these lows around 92 support, and I was seeing price starting to round out, and finally we got that break back above 93 resistance. So after that break above 93 resistance right here, that broke the trend line and it also broke above that key resistance level 93, made a new high, broke this previous high right here, and then pushed back down and retested that 93 support now. So down here, it was 93 resistance, broke through that, broke through 93, broke through the trend line, came up, also broke the previous high right here. When it pushed back down, all it did was retest the same level that was broken out of, the 93 support now and also the trend line area. And then from there, we got that rise. So while price is doing that, it's making a higher high, higher low. Boom, price pushed up to make a higher high. So now I'm expecting price to push down, make a higher low to potentially make that new higher high because this is the trend. So looking at this, we could draw a trend line from this low. Boom, like that. Connected out to that second point. And right now, price is currently at the 50 EMA retestance, and it's also at this consolidation zone. So yeah, this could be the retest down here, and we could rise, or you could see price push down closer towards 93.50 before we get that next attempt to the upside. So we may either find support here and rise, or we'll push down a little lower and then rise like that. And also, you could possibly draw a fib from this low up to the high, and it gives you a good idea of where your retracement percentage is going to be at. All right, so it could come down to the 61. You see the 61.8 aligns with that 93.50. So if price falls down that low and it starts to find support, then I will look for any type of indication of a bullish type of reversal candlestick pattern at these lows around 93.50 if we get that push down there. All right. So overall, that's what I'm looking for the dollar index. I'm looking for a slight pullback. If we hold, I'm looking for the market to push back up to the upside. And also, one last thing, I don't really like trading the actual patterns for the most part, unless it comes with more confluence. But in this case, we have a possible. This could be your left shoulder there. This could be the head right here. And then this could be your right shoulder for the inverted. And then just like that, the market broke out. So that could be the breakout, retest, and then we could look for this to go higher. So that's what I like to see for the overall dollar index. All right, now let me move on to a few other dollar pairs. Right now, let me see Euro USD. So because the dollar index is pretty much inverse, it's going to be the opposite of our Euro USD, because if the dollar index is going up, ideally, that's the dollar gaining strength. So if the technicals are aligned with Euro, in order to trade the dollar in order to trade the dollar next to the Euro, to trade them in the same direction, if the dollar index is going up and then you go to the Euro and it shows you that the technicals are clearly showing that the dollar is trying to gain strength. So the dollar index, the overall DXY, would be going up. But if you were to come to a Euro USD and see that the USD is still strong on the Euro USD chart, you would be selling, because you're selling the Euro and you're buying the US dollar. And that's what kind of confuses people who are new. They think because you're buying the dollar index, you would be buying Euro USD. But if you're buying Euro USD, that means you're buying the Euro and selling the US dollar. So if you think the dollar is gaining strength on a Euro USD and you see it gaining strength on a dollar index, that means the dollar index is going up, and then you would ideally be selling a Euro USD, a GBP USD, or AUD USD. Because if you sell those pairs, that means you're buying the US dollar in that specific case. But if it was a USD SHEP or USD CAD, it would be different because that pair comes first. So you would be buying or selling. So if you had a USD CAD, for example, you would buy that and it would be the same as the dollar index going up. And if you wanted to sell the US dollar, you would just sell. All right, so I was just saying that because this is pretty much inverse. It's just the opposite direction. So in this case, because we had a clear breakout, we had a clear structure. This could even be somewhat of a head and shoulders at the top. But let's just say, okay, this is the neckline, because the neckline in this is going to be key because we just got that important breakout. And also, if I draw my fib from this high right here, down to this low, the 61.8 aligns with that same area. So ideally, if we could get a push up to that area and we start to see the price line resistance, I would like to let price push up. If it can push up higher towards like 1.1775 and hold, I would look for the swings to come back down to the downside if that holds that resistance. All right. But keep in mind that where price is at already is also a good take. It's also a good retracement because price pushed down towards like 1.160 and then it pushed all the way back up towards like 1.172. So already retraced over 100 pips. And also it broke below the 50 EMA and right now it's currently retesting that 50 EMA. It's just I don't like to jump the gun, and also it's NFP this week. We got a presidential candidate this week, so I'm not trying to jump the gun on USD pairs. I want to wait for more confluence, more actual confirmation, and then once I get that, if at any given time this week, if these pairs push up and hold at these levels, and it's showing good confirmation that they're going to drop, these are going to be swing trades back down towards 1.16, 1.15, and not just this pair. The same thing goes for like an odd USD or something like that. I'm just giving you the example. So yeah, we could get that push up towards 1.18, 1.175 area, get a clear hold at resistance, and I'm going to look to swing it back down towards 1.16, 1.152 support level. All right, so that's pretty much what I'm looking for, Euro USD. And a lot of USD pairs is going to be similar at this point because it is a lot of things adding up in the actual economy. You have NFP this week coming up. You got this is going to be the last week of actual October. Are we in October? Oh no, September. Yeah. So this is the last week of September. You got NFP this week. You got a presidential candidate, and you got elections coming up soon. While we're in the middle of a pandemic and this, so it's a lot of things that's going on right now. So that's why I just don't want to jump the gun. But the setups and the structures, it's there. You just got to be patient and wait for it to present itself. Same thing for this pair right here. It's the same type of setup to where price, it reached this top up here, it pushed down, it gave another attempt. When it gave this another attempt, it failed to make a new high, creating a lower high. And then from there, we started to decline. When it pushed down and it broke below this low right here. So when price broke below this low right here, it's showing that the market is overall trying to go bearish. So then it broke below that low, and then it also broke below the 50 EMA while also breaking the lows here. It broke below that low. It broke below that low. So it's just letting us know that the price is steadily declining. So now you would want to see where the market could potentially retrace to. Ideally, if we could get a push up towards 0.715, if the market could find resistance around there, then we're going to look to swing trade this back down towards 0.70, 0.695, just like that. And you could even draw a fib from this high down to the low. And just like that, the 61.8 aligns around 0.72 resistance. So yeah, that anywhere from that 0.715 to 0.72 is where I'll be looking for potential sells at on odd USD. So from that 0.7150, and if price just goes up to 0.7150 right away, I don't sell it when it first gets up there. I like to wait to see if it's trying to go higher or if it's, multiple 4-hour closes of it not breaking high. Then you kind of get a good idea that, okay, this high isn't trying to get broken because 3, 4, 5 4-hour candles failed to break above the high. Now I got a little bit more confirmation of how I want to sell it. Then you got a good idea where you want to put your stop losses at too. That way, you're always you always have a good risk to reward ratio. Okay, so this zone right here is going to be my sell zone for this pair. I'm just waiting for price to get up here and show some type of bearish reversals, and then I'm looking to take it back down towards 0.70 towards 0.69 support level. All right. What else? NZD USD. So yeah, all these USD pairs for the most part look the same. So unless something changes for NFP and then to end out the month, then I'll probably have to like change up my whole analysis. But that's the thing about about being a good trader. You need to not marry your bias. So even though I see, that the market it made new lows and it needs to retrace up before going bearish, like if the market pushes up and it shows strong bullish engulfing candles, then I'm not looking for those sales until something shows me that. But right now, even though I'm looking for the push up into the sell, like I know that if candlesticks or something shows me otherwise to where the setup of the market pushing up to dropping is no longer valid because there's too much bullish momentum, I'm not going to sell it anymore. And that's where a lot of people need to be able to just be able to like move on the fly more so. Like still, have confidence in your overall analysis, but not being naive and not, like trying to hold on to a losers when you really should be trying to hold on to your actual winners, modifying stop losses, opposed to trying to hold on to the actual losers. Or things that you're not completely sure of, and you could trade something that looks more so familiar with how you like to trade and what you're comfortable with. So in this case with AUD USD, I would expect price to push up. It's 38.2 aligns with the 50 EMA region, so that would be the first area I would expect price to push up to. If the market pushes above that, then the 61.8 would be the next level. So anywhere around 0.668 to 0.67 would be the next level if the market breaks above this 38.2 region. So more than likely, if the market breaks above this region, I would expect it to push up a little higher towards the 61.8 region. And then from there, if we find resistance, I will look for the swing trades back down to the downside. And also, we have this key neckline right here on this pair in the middle right here. And that also aligns with this same zone. So this is what I'm trying to see if, and also NZD USD moves slower than the other USD pair, so it may not need to make a deep retracement. So that's what I'm trying to see if we get a push up anywhere in this area, how price is going to react. So today is only Tuesday, and NFP is Friday, so you still got time to wait and let the candlesticks show you more actual data before you jump the gun. All right, yeah, but ideally, some type of push up and then boom, like that. Or, it could push up to here and then drop. So you just got to be patient and wait for the market to actually give you something favorable. All right, GBP USD. So I'm just going through a lot of USD pairs this week. So GBP USD is actually one of the trades that I called out too. Both take profits were hit on this pair. All right, so on this, you have a resistance around 1.30. A key resistance around 1.30. And we have this support right here. So right now, the market is declining. You can draw a possible trend line like this. Hold on, let me look at this on a 4-hour real quick. Okay, yeah, so we're at this level right here, but honestly on GBP USD, especially because the pound has been showing a lot of strength lately, this is the USD pair that I'm not trying to jump the gun on right now, especially because I just called out a successful trade and did what I had to do on this. I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to wait for this to actually show me what it's trying to do. Because honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if GU needed to push up towards 1.29 to 1.30, you know? So that's why I'm going to wait for this one more so and just wait for a clear breakout. You can even make this into like a wedge. You could draw trend lines at the bottom point like this. And really, if you just have it out like this, you would just wait for the breakout. So if it broke out to the upside, ideally you would need it to break and hold above 130. If it did that, then you would expect it to go higher to the upside. But now if it can't, if even if it pushes above the trend line and pushes up to 130, can't break above that, and then breaks back below the trend line, you might start to see bearish price action come back into play. So really, those are my two scenarios. I'm just going to wait for it to show me more confirmation. And then once I get that, then I'm going to take the trade because GU is one of those pairs that you can easily catch 100, 200 pips, in a day, especially if it's actually trending. So I'm just going to wait for that on GBP USD. But if you guys are in the actual VIP group, then I called out GU and should have caught some pips on that one. All right, so a few other pairs I'm going to go over. Euro JPY, another pair that I just called out. Just caught 100 pips on this off of this move right here. This is pretty simple. You got the clear breakout. I believe I even caught this breakout down here. So you even had this breakout. The market broke below the 50 EMA, retested, and pushed down lower. While it also another thing you need to pay attention to when the market is dropping like this is the structure to the left that got broken, because that gives you good indication if the trend and the momentum is actually trying to change, because the momentum was just bullish. I just had an ascending trend line and then it just switched like that. So because, hold on, let me change. I don't want that. I want the ray. Okay, yeah. So this support right here got broken, and this support right here got broken. All right. So even though the last one it was broken and didn't really break below because the market consolidated and pushed up, this was still a slight break. So because of that and that consolidation right here, I knew the market wanted to retrace back up to the 50 EMA at least. This consolidation right here. So all I did was call my buys at 123, stops below the low, and then ride it to the upside. Pretty simple. 50 pips was the first take profit, 100 pips was the second take profit, because I know this isn't an overall buy. So I gotta, get in and out. I'm not trying to marry this trade. And I know what I'm doing with this trade. A lot of people, they just try to catch pips and they don't know what they're actually looking for. They don't know if they want to scalp, if they want to swing trade, if they want to just get in and out, if they just need to make X amount of dollars or whatever. Like a lot of people, they just trade to trade. And it's like, okay, with this, I already knew this was just a slight trade. This is going to be quick. And I'm not really looking to hold this trade more than 100 pips. So just like that, boom, the market pushed up, hit that 124. So now, because we got the bullish engulfing, we're either going to push up and break above that 1245. And if it does that, then we may see more bullish momentum. If not, we may just get a push up before we see a slight retracing back down to the downside. So for me, overall, I'm bearish more so on this pair, but because I just caught the buys and we got a bullish engulfing candle so far on the daily, I'm going to hold off on looking for sales of right now. So just enjoy the pips that you caught on this trade and just use it for educational purposes. But yeah, this was a good 100 pip trade. I just called that out like literally today. Or no, it just hit its take profit like 15 minutes ago. All right, GBP JPY. I believe this is another trade that I called out that hit both take profits. So honestly, just looking at the structure, this pair doesn't look as clean as the other ones right now, because if you're not already in a buy, then it's kind of too late. Well, not too late, but it's just not ideal. Hold on, let me move this out further. Okay, yeah. So really, I need to see if 136 gets broken. If 136 gets broken, then we may push up towards 137, 137.50 region. But now, if price can't break above 137, we may get a decline back down to the downside. So really, I'm just trying to see how price reacts around this level. If we get a strong break above this level, I would expect this 50 EMA to possibly get hit. If we break above this right here, I would expect the 50 EMA to get hit. If we can't break above 137 overall, that region, then I expect the market to make a decline back down to the downside, even if it doesn't reach 130. So let's just say, for example, the market can't break above 136, then I would expect the market to push back down to the downside. It's just right now, trying to sell this because it looks like it's finding resistance is a little too premature for me. And a lot of times it'll look like this, and later on that night, you'll see a bullish candle that push price up to this level. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying I've seen that happen too many times. So I'm not about to, just take the buy or take the sell because it looks like it's finding resistance. I'll wait a little longer within the week, and then after the candlesticks show me a little bit more data, then I'll actually take the trade. All right. GBP, JPY. I went over what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs so far. I'll do one more. Let me just go USD Chef. Because yeah, this is pretty simple. You clearly see that I had my fib from this low to this high. Price pushed down, hit the 61.8 perfectly, made a higher low, and then boom, price pushed up and hit the take profit. Like, man, trading should be so simple, And a lot of people try to look for all the secret ingredients and stuff like that. It's like, man, what do you like to trade? What are you good at? You know what I mean? It's like you can't just try to steal what I'm doing. What are you good at? Because a certain way I see the market to where I know if certain things is happening and like, oh yeah, I'm 100% confident that, take profits or whatever, I'm going to profit within the trade. But it's only on if it's doing certain, type of like patterns and shit. All right, so because this guy hit, you can honestly redraw. I just wanted to make sure I had that right. Okay, yeah, so overall, this is bullish. It's looking bullish. You could draw a fib from this low, extend it out to this point right here into the future. So that third trend line hit can always be a possible retracement spot if we push below the 50 EMA. But also keep in mind that the 50 EMA aligns with previous resistance, all the way coming back here, all the way back from August. And right now, price broke above this resistance and now is currently retesting it, acting as support. All right, so you could have also this fib from the low to this high. And right now we're at the 38.2. So price is either going to hold within this area and push it upside, or we may see price push a little bit lower towards the 61 or the 72 fib retracement before giving another tip to the upside. But overall, that's what I'm liking on this. And as long as these lows right here hold, then overall in the trend line, as long as price stays above the trend line, really, I'm going to remain bullish. Even if it pushes down to the 78, like I'm still bullish. It needs to break, honestly, below the 88.6 for me to change my overall bias. So right now, I like for this to either push down and hold here before pushing back to the upside, or we're going to get a deeper retracement and push down towards here before coming back to the upside. Either or scenarios is what I'm looking for with USD Chef. So overall, the dollar looks like it still has strength, but you don't want to just base your overall bias off of that. You kind of, that's your bias, but you want to take it day by day and look at what the data actually prints out on the daily 4-hour time frames and then go from there. You don't want to, like I said, you don't want to just marry your bias. All right, yeah. So today's Tuesday. I wasn't able to put out something for Monday, but I'll still call this Markup Monday because I was still trading some pairs from last week, early this week, so we're still good. And the market hasn't really moved yet. I mean, it pushed the opposite way, but I think they're just setting up for the overall swing trade. So we could call this Markup Monday episode 8, I believe. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions, you can message me on Instagram at Winning with Ryan or message the company at Epic Analysis. And I hope, I'm just doing all this stuff because hopefully this stuff helps. Free education or people who's paying that's catching pips, making money. As long as I'm doing my job and helping at least one person,